How do you relax the hips? We're going to learn the Pfennig today. I had a wonderful client in Germany. We did Zoom sessions. We came up with a movement for the hips. We decided to call it the Pfennig. A Pfennig is like a penny, and it's about as big as a US penny. It's a small coin. We're going to learn the Pfennig today. Don't go into any pain or discomfort in these movements. Let's try this, and I'll try to explain it as best I can. You're just on hands and knees, and if you bring your hands a little bit forward, it's a little bit easier on the arms. Imagine there's a little coin, a Pfennig, balancing right on the back of your sacrum. It's balancing right there. At first, we're going to be careful not to let that coin slide off the back of your pelvis. Notice where your knees are. Have the knees straight down from the hips. Just like the thighs are making a parallelogram, you can have pelvis comes over to one side, and there's like a parallelogram, and you're just keeping that Pfennig balanced on the back of the pelvis. We can go all the way to the other side. The knees stay touching the ground. We're just going over there. The hip movement. And the Pfennig stays on the back of the pelvis. And you can go back and forth like that gentle parallelogram. Just do that at your own pace, back and forth. As the knees push to one side, that's what it's like. It's like you're pushing your knees over to one side with this amplified load of the body. And then we can gently push the knees all the way to the other side. So its groin tightens on one side as the outer hip on the other side contracts. And then we can go all the way to the opposite. Okay, so we can do that. All right, we have that side-to-side motion of the pelvis, parallelogram. Well, now I can push my knees back behind me that it drives my body forward. And I can, keeping the Pfennig flat on the back of the sacrum, I can sort of squat into it, and my arms are pushing away so that I can sort of have this nice loaded up squat. And your flexibility might be different than mine. My body's sort of strong and tight in these directions. We can drive the knees back, and we can focus on keeping the Pfennig on the back of the sacrum, and the angle of the thigh to the torso closes. And then as we drive our knees back, the angle of the thighs to the torso opens. Get that nice movement here. Okay. Let's put side to side and up the mat and down the mat. Let's put that together. I'm going to drive my body out over this hand. I'm pushing my knees down and back over to the right as it drives my body up over my left hand. And I can let that pelvis go back. My pelvis is going back over the right knee. It's going back over the right knee. Now, adjust your hands. Your hands are going to be the load, and we have this diagonal movement of the thighs, mostly focusing on the right knee. My hands are the opposition. I'm pushing that knee away, and now my both arms are helping give a beautiful loaded descent and opening of the outside back of that hip, of the right hip, as I squat back. I'm going to push that knee out back behind me, and then we're lowering slowly, slowly, slowly. Let's try the other direction. Left knee pushes my body out and up the mat toward the right. Both arms give a beautiful loaded descent as my hip goes all the way out. This long line of the glutes gets to open. Okay, I'm driving both knees back to push my body forward. Let that lower down. Now, if you want to take it to the next level, I'm just going to come up only on that knee so I can really, really sink into that lowering here. Here we're going to let the Pfennig slide right off. I'm going to let the Pfennig slide off. And I'm going to roll and I'm going to push that knee back, out and back behind me, and I'm loading it up. I'm sitting into it. And look, it's not just glutes. The line extends all the way up into the back, the diagonals of the back. So as you drive that knee back behind you, can you arch the back to push that knee back behind you? And the back lengthens and the glutes lengthen all the way to really sit into it. So we have the diagonals. Let's do the grand finale. We're going to put that Pfennig right back there on the sacrum again. And we're going to move that Pfennig in a big circle. We're rolling. The Pfennig goes down the mat. It goes out to the side, the left side, down and back to the left foot of the mat, coming up over to the side. The pelvis could flatten down to the floor. And really look at it. Go slowly. Go slowly. We did a little bit more on one hip than the other. I actually need to go back. I'm going to do a little bit of that one knee pandiculation just to really let that diagonal of the back open. Push it. The knee is pushing against the arms. The hands are the opposition as that knee pushes out back behind. And can you sink into that? Can you slowly release and relax to let the knee come toward the chest? Slow, let the back open. Knee drives down into the floor to push the body out over the hands. Knee comes toward the chest. The Pfennig. There we go. And here we're going to come back to the grand finale. Thank you for bearing with me because I'm doing my practice too. I'm not just here to teach it. I'm also a student as well. We're going to come back to that circle. And the pelvis lowers down. You can let that sag down. The pelvis goes all the way to the other side, all the way back, and we're making this big circle. Try closing your eyes now. Can you focus on how the thighs are moving in relationship to the torso? Where are the knees the whole time? Can your brain understand that the knees go way over there and they go way back there and then they're moving over to the other side? The knees are moving in relationship to the torso. Let's try the other direction. Gently. Here, it's hard for me to let my pelvis lower out that way. Well, let's make it a pandiculation. Close it up, and then very carefully let that lower down. Really sag into it. You can close it up again. I'm moving that crease of the thigh away. I'm moving my front pocket away from this corner. I'm going to sag into it. As you get to a more advanced level, and this is at least an intermediate movement, as you get to a more advanced level, you got to figure out how to freeform it and make it your own. Okay. Lie down on your back. After doing the Pfennig, we go through the day not perceiving much about the places and spaces of the body. Loading it up, the load with gravity is the amplification that allows us to perceive what we usually wouldn't. Other is usually just below the threshold of our perception. Mostly it's like the background noise in the room that we never pay attention to. My friend Felix in Germany, I want to thank you for helping to figure that one out. Really enjoyed the sessions with you. Man, my hips feel great right now. I'm Eric Cooper, InspireSomatics.com. Blessings on your journey.